Hello, everyone. Jeff from RespawnStudios.com back with episode 6 of Just a Taste, and this will be Dungeon Siege 3. Now, I have no experience whatsoever with the first two games in the series, but when I saw the preview trailers and saw that the gameplay is a lot like other hack and slash or loot-based games like this, Champions of Norath on PS2. You could also think of Marvel Ultimate Alliance. It's kind of like that gameplay style where it's top-down. You could do co-op. So these are the four main characters. You could choose to be any of them, and then throughout the game you meet up with the other people that you didn't choose, and you could have one person be controlled by the AI coming with you, or you could do co-op online with up to two people. But apparently, and I never got a chance to do co-op myself, but from what I saw everyone else say about it, only the person that's hosting the game gets to use their actual character and advance the story. The other person doesn't get to save their progress and has to use like a default loadout character. They can't use their own from their game, so it's not really co-op. I mean, it is, but it's not anywhere near what you would think of as a good co-op experience. So I chose my favorite guy. The story doesn't really matter in this game. It's kind of dull, cliche. It's about a legion of guys that were supposed to protect the true king and queen that have been getting their asses kicked, basically, by an evil force, an army. And not like pure evil. They're just like different politics, and they wanted their power. But they are the people that are starting to take over, and you're one of the few remaining descendants of the original Legion. So you're trying to stop the woman Jane Casindar, who is trying to take the throne and put the actual person who deserves to be the king, or the ruler, who's a queen actually, that you get to meet later in the game. And you're trying to make sure that they actually get the power. My favorite thing about the game is just how laid back and fun it is. There's really good variations of locations. The caves all look very nice. There's snow areas, there are forests. The towns all look cool. There's lots of different enemy types. You're not going to be doing the same thing. Well, I mean, you'll be running around hitting people with swords or spells the whole time, but it's not like the same enemies in the same places over and over again. It's varied up very nicely that way. So the little HUD in the bottom left has your like mana points, I guess, but I don't really use the spells or abilities that much since I'm like a tank, the tank character. The green is the health, and then under your picture there's a like half bar, and that is your experience. And then above that are the three abilities that you have active. So a lot of them are different sword abilities and things like that. There's also two different stances each character can use. Usually one is for like light weapons, the other is for heavy. And you change it by, I think, hitting left bumper. So this opening sequence, I'm escaping with a guy that knew my derp. He wasn't my father, your father. So you instantly trust him that he's gonna help you in your pursuits. So you blow up a bridge and get away from the enemies, and now you're out in the open. So you're trying to meet up with this wizard guy. These are all my technical terms. This wizard guy that's going to give you the goals and tell you where to look to help reunite the remaining members of the Legion, and how you could find the queen and stop Jane.
They may have guessed that we'd make a run for the chapter house. No help for it, though. That's where we agreed to meet.
So you might have noticed I didn't talk about when I did it. when I was approaching the first area. By clicking down the right thumbstick, you could either have this view or more zoomed in view. But I think everything just looks a little better when it's zoomed out more. So I like this. And plus you could see more of where you're going and where the enemies are.
A military camp. Less Kanzi by the look of it. Can't be a coincidence. Let's look around.
And it's the very standard controls. Move with left thumbstick. You have the full range of the right thumbstick to change the camera 360 degrees. These save points, even if you're not going to save, I always recommend going to them because the second you hit right bumper on them, it restores your health. So even if you don't end up saving, you're going to get full health, which is always very nice.
What's this?
Here's your first little mini boss, a thief, the end of the bridge. And you probably saw that in all of these videos and in general when I'm playing, I just choose casual. I just prefer playing that way. I'll only do the harder difficulties if I've already beaten the game a lot and I'm trying to give myself a challenge or if there's like an achievement. But I just like having the more laid back, fun ways, not having to worry about too much when I'm playing a game. Alright, so now we've reached this temple where this mage guy I was talking about earlier is. And you probably noticed I've been skipping through all the conversations. There's a lot more to them and you could get more of the backstory, but I've already beaten the game, so I'm just trying to show you gameplay and talk about some things.
Anyone might have been one or two of. I'll do what I can for Mom.
Alright, so there I leveled up. So here I'm going to show you the inventory. When you go to equip, you could see already there at the bottom, you could hit Y to toggle stance. And you usually have a different layout in terms of weapons per stance, so you might want to pay attention to that. So when you scroll through the inventory, it lists things that are new, which aren't necessarily better, so pay attention to the stats, as always. Where it says stamina for different armor, that will give you more hit points. So I always try and get things that have a very high stamina and not worry about so much about the armor. Because if I have lots of health, then I won't need as much armor. So the higher the stamina, I usually go for that, unless the armor is significantly high. And now this is the level up screen. That was the abilities of what you can raise when you level up. And you see here when I back out, I'm instantly taken into it because I just leveled up. So now I can add a skill point. And every one of these has two different ways you could level them up. You could read the, well, maybe not because it'll probably be on a small YouTube screen, but there's the brown and then the sort of purplish blue ways, and they're just different aspects of the ability. You can do like even 2 of one and 3 of another to reach the 5, or you could do all 5 of one. And then these are your talents. These are the sort of spells. The others are like your natural abilities, or the things you could do like when you hold down right trigger. And then the second level up screen are your abilities. So here I'm coming over. There's an achievement for lore, which is basically reading journals or books that you find throughout the game. And I think there are a couple, I think maybe even up to 5 things you could read around here. So you can get a good kickstart on that achievement. There's also this armory available to you, which has a weapon and an armor piece. So here I'm going back into my inventory. And once you have another person in your party, you don't have to back out and go back into inventory or like switch characters and go into inventory. When you're in this, I think it's just you have to hit Y or like one of the bumpers, and then you switch between your characters. So it's not too much of a hassle, which is good. All right, and I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.